That's more like it. The Edmonton Oilers, 5-2 winners over the Ottawa Senators. Pick up their first win in their last game of a 3-game Eastern Canadian road trip. What's up, everybody? Good evening. Tom Gazzola, Shawn, Belle, Hernan, Salas with you as we bring you the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. The Oilers improved to 10-8-2 on the season. Ottawa falls to 8-9-1. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Special shout out. We're going to begin the show with a shout out to Tony and Curtis at BP Westgate, hooking the entire crew up with a bite to eat tonight.
Yes.
Great time here in the ESTHQ.
Yes.
Nanso liked it. Yeah. It was awesome. Get in here, Nanso. Get in here.
What's going on, boys?
Going on? They won. Everything is okay now.
Just like I predicted. Podkolzin, great night. Skinner are amazing. A blowout. I'm kidding, but
That's a good win.
It was a nice win.
Credit where credit is due. Podkolzin, couple of points tonight. I was getting it from everybody. Like, oh, look at that, Tom. Podkolzin got another one. Oh, he's got two tonight. Yep. Good for him.
Book it.
Book what?
First liner.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Enough.
if I don't hear retrievals and Podkolzin in the same sentence for the rest of the year, I'll be happy. We all get it.
We're gonna be hearing retrievals.
We get
at
it.
Podkolzin.
We get it, Belsey.
I don't even think you were fully convinced on the pregame
Are you
show.
kidding me? I had compelling arguments.
Yeah, they were fun.
No, yeah, they were compelling.
We had fun with it.
Oh,
That's for
we
had a
sure.
great
We had
time.
too many laughs on the pregame show. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The Oilers winners 5-2. Podkolzin the star or not, they got it done against the Ottawa Senators team that we said was going to be better than the Montreal Canadiens. Now the Oilers, to their credit, were better than the Ottawa Senators. They weren't. You couldn't say that yesterday.
Engaged. They were fully engaged.
There you go. And so, before I get into the scoring summary, we say fully engaged to their credit.
Yes,
Showed
right
up.
off the hop. Good game. I'm getting some heat too for Podkolzin. Yeah, good on him. 2 assists.
Good for it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
If we're getting heat because he played well, that's great.
He should get points playing with those two.
Yes. Yes.
And this one says, you don't appreciate how hard puck retrieval is, Hernan. I know it's hard.
I feel like
I
that's
know it's
in jest.
hard, but bring something else to the table when talking about Podkolzin. Stop saying the same thing and repeating what everybody else says. We know he's good at puck retrievals.
I can't wait to hear about whatever vague, generic defenseman was described in the second intermission.
Oh, boy.
That's going to be parroted for the next 2 days.
It was a good game right off the hop. They were engaged. The top line was rolling. Stuart Skinner made some key saves. PK is still rolling, right, Tom?
It was good again.
So
tonight.
a lot of positives. It's been a bit of a downer the last two post games. So let's be happy, people.
Yes, let's enjoy it as the Oilers win it 5-2 over the Ottawa Senators and walk away from Eastern Canada with a 1-1-1 record, 3 out of a possible 6 points. Pissed away a point in Toronto, and then didn't show up in Montreal last night. Totally redeemed themselves in Ottawa. I still think they could have gone 3-0 on that trip, but that was not meant to be. They go 1-1-1. All right, let's get into the game summary and then the turning point, and then we'll get into a deep dive of tonight's victory in the first period. Evan Bouchard, great goal, very dazzling goal. His 5th of the year, dances through Thomas Chabot, or Sir Thomas Chabot, as Dusty Nielsen likes to say on Tales of the North. And Draisaitl and Podkolzin picking up the assists on Bouchard's 5th at 3:46. Doesn't make up for everything he's coughed up at the other end of the rink, but it was really, really nice.
Hell of a goal.
It was very nice.
It was a really nice goal. You used to do that back in the day too, right?
That's what they called the Belsey back.
I thought that
I
was
used
the
to chop
Belsey.
that thing into a square.
Oh. All right. And then one of the 4 pieces
And
would
then
go
one of the
top
4
check.
pieces was going in the net.
Yeah, and then the other 3
Shot them
into
all at
the-
the exact same time.
Yeah. 2 into the corner, 1 backwards. I don't know how you do that, but they call that the Bells. I'm kidding. 1-0 Oilers. At 15:40 of the first period, Tim Stützle gets his 8th of the season from Drake Batherson and Nick Jensen. Couple of breakdowns there. Matt Cassian calls it compounding errors. There was a couple of instances on the wall. One was Jeff Skinner. The other was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. They couldn't get it out there, Bellsy.
Yep.
Do you recall the rest of the sequence?
Jeff Skinner in the particular play turns his back to the play.
Defenseman fell down.
Yeah, which allows them to keep the puck in. They chip it in a little bit further, head into in the zone where Nuge gets it, tries to chip it out. Soft play, comes back down all the way behind the net. And then obviously Hyman loses his guy. And
Stetcher goes chasing,
but that's a guy that you do not want to leave wide open in the slot.
Yeah, Stützle buries his 8th of the season. He is a sniper, a very, very good player. 1-1 at that point. However, the Oilers would respond not long after, 35 seconds to be exact. Connor McDavid, his 8th of the season from Vasily Podkolzin. Hey, and Evan Bouchard. Look at those guys helping out tonight. Very nice.
A great goal. Okay, a little bit of a cycle.
Yeah.
He gets a puck on the net. McDavid goes to the net, and boom, it's in.
That was a theme on the pregame show. 2-1 Oilers.
It works.
Yep. All right, before the period would be done, the Oilers would convert on the power play. Special teams. McDavid 2nd of the night, 9th of the season from Evan Bouchard and Leon Draisaitl at 19-19. That one, Bellsy.
5-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
Tough call, though. I will say that one. On Claude Giroux to make it 5-on-3, really...
Okay, he played the puck
marginal.
off his glove to his stick, and then he batted it back.
That was a bad call.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But luckily, the Oilers get the bounce where they now, once again, McDavid has a puck. He attacks downhill, uses the defenseman as a screen, goes shelf with it. Great shot. I think he needs to do that a little bit more. Granted, it was 5-on-3, but I still think he has the ability to do that.
He didn't go looking for Draisaitl on the side.
Exactly.
So that's good. 3-1 at that point. And so anything else? Or do you want me to roll on?
No, keep rolling.
Okay. At 4:39 of the second period, it would be Leon Draisaitl making it 4-1. Draisaitl's 14th goal of the year from Connor McDavid, who springs him free. Partial break. He slides it through the wickets of Linus Ullmark. Adam Henrique picking up his 2nd assist of the season. Good to see.
Adam Henrique had a great second effort play. He was on the ground. You know, he makes that diving play to get the puck up to McDavid. And then from there, obviously, there was magic between the two. Nice little advanced pass to Draisaitl. Forehand, backhand, 5-hole. Goaltender has to retrieve his jockstrap from the rafters. Beautiful goal.
4-1 Oilers at that point. To the third period we go, and 11:50. And I like this goal. I thought that was a nice goal by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, just his 2nd of the season in the 20th game of the year. Derek Ryan, good play to Nugent-Hopkins. Nice pass. Brett Kulak picks up the 2nd assist. Nugent-Hopkins, a nice redirection going to the
Net.
Actually, it's funny because myself and Hernan actually talked about that earlier. There's a play, I think it was in the first or second?
It was in the first.
It was in the first. And Hyman has a puck. He comes through the middle of the ice, and he's trying to drive it to the left-hand side of the ice. And Nuge is going through the middle. And if Nuge goes hard and he just calls for that puck, it would have been a breakaway.
Right. Is that the one you were going? If he said middle,
100%.
Immediately you would know.
But he doesn't skate, and then he doesn't get it. Obviously, there's a turnover that happens. But in this particular case, he decides to go to the net. And because he goes to the net, there are some coverage mistakes by the Senators, and they leave Nugent-Hopkins wide open. Great heads-up play by Derek Ryan getting the puck to the net.
Nice
and
pass.
then obviously a great tip by Nugent-Hopkins.
Yep.
And going to the net. And guys, now 5-0 when the Oilers fight. That's an important stat. So keep the fisticuffs coming, I guess. Good little tilt.
Josh Brown and Zach McEwen, 2 big boys.
McEwen was just swinging for the fences.
He was, but you said something about the way Brown was fighting.
Brown looked like he was really calm, cooled, and collected, and he threw some heavy shots. But obviously, McEwen had way more punches thrown, more activity for sure. But Brown was just like he was calm, cool, and collected, kind of standing back, waiting for his opportunity. And he had probably 2 or 3 that yeah, that guy's going to be wearing them for the next couple of weeks.
6-0. Sorry, guys.
6-0.
6-0.
It's all good.
I have a question for you guys and our listeners as well. What did you make of the other lines today, or the other forwards outside of when it was Pod, Dry, and McDavid?
Okay. Text us 780-218-9999. I like this. You're kind of extending the question of the night into the postgame. A new question of the night. What'd you make of the other lines outside of the top line? We will accumulate some answers and then give our own as we finish up. The scoring summary and game stats. Nugent Hopkins, second of the year at 1150, 5-1 at that point. Then Josh Norris on what I thought was a pretty clear high stick. They allowed it, 8th goal of the year from Jensen and Kachuk at 17:36 to make it 5-2. That is your final. Shots on goal, 32-29 in favor of Edmonton. Ottawa, the better team on the faceoff dot, winning that battle 51.7% to 48.3%. The power play for the Oilers, 1 for 3. More importantly, the PK, actually equally as important, going 2 for 2. So that was round of clicks to the Oilers on the special teams today. Not many nights we've been able to say that. Hits, 35-17 in favor of Ottawa. Block shots, 19-12 in favor of Edmonton. Giveaways, officially 12 for the Sens. Edmonton with 11. Takeaways, 5 for the Oil, 4 for the Sens. 5-2 is the final on the scoreboard, and bank another 2 points for the Edmonton Oilers as they return home. All right, I'm going to do the turning point.
Yeah.
And then we're going to give some thoughts on Nanso's question of the night, which is, what did you think of the other 3 lines, or 2.5 that the Oilers went with tonight? So obviously, take out the McDavid, Draisaitl, Podkolzin combination. How did the other forward lines fare tonight? As we get into the turning point of the game, presented by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance performance, we treat you like a pro, using the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game. The turning point of the game, I'll say this one, put it on ice, unless you're expecting a certain something from me.
I'm not.
I think the turning point of the game solidified the Oilers' win was McDavid's second goal of the night, 3-1 marker.
Yeah.
Late in the first period. I think that put the Oilers in a good space. We know and saw that the Sens aren't particularly great when giving up the first goal in a game, but I think Edmonton getting over the hurdle of just 2 goals, getting a third in the first period was important on the power play specifically. They're moving the puck well. They're going to some good areas of the ice that we were hoping and looking for them to do in front of the net. And they convert.
They played a pretty simple game. You didn't, when you watched them play today, it didn't seem as if they're trying to hold pucks unnecessarily long, especially when they regroup pucks. The Oilers have a tendency, defensemen will hold that puck for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, let guys swing. They were quicker with their neutral zone regroups, which I thought put a little bit more pressure on the Ottawa Senators, because there was never time where it was just, we can set up in our neutral zone forecheck.
Right.
There's maybe 1 or 2 times where I can remember, and one with Draisaitl because there was a change that happened. But outside of that, the neutral zone transition was quick, and it was constantly back into the Senators zone, which allowed the Oilers to generate a little bit more momentum and then play in the offensive zone.
And then I like the turning point of the game is the third goal of the game for the Oilers, second of the night for McDavid. I like what you said about that, going downhill in the offensive zone and taking that shot instead of passing it up, looking for forcing a pass through Royal Road, as you describe it, and maybe missing a golden opportunity to score. Great shot on Linus Ullmark. Connor McDavid beats him up high. And like you said, used the screen as well. So to me, tonight's Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game was McDavid's 9th goal of the season, second of the night on the power play late in the first period. Kind of set the tone the rest of the way.
So some people are texting in. I guess Connor took a shot at the media for Podkolzin.
Who cares?
Yeah, but this is where I'm at. Stop being so sensitive about it.
He's a fourth line player playing on the
bunch of Edmonton meat, eh?
He was playing.
Bunch of Edmonton.
You're
meat.
one of us.
He was playing. He was playing with Draisaitl and had 3 points. We weren't everybody texting, "Oh, you guys are wrong." We're not. It was one game. He played well. He should play well when you play with 97 and 29. But stop being so sensitive, because I think everybody was saying the same thing. Well, not everybody except for Belzy, right?
Thank you.
Everybody was saying the same thing. Was he needs to produce more? That's it. No one's saying he's playing bad, Tom. No one. I haven't heard one person say he's playing bad.
Right.
Everybody's saying he needs to produce if he's in the top 6.
That's right.
And he hasn't up until tonight.
And that boy produced tonight.
He certainly did.
Oh, these boys. I knew Connor watched our show, man.
Hey, Connor.
He's probably watching us.
Probably.
Pre-nap.
Yeah.
First EST afternoons, then he was probably dipping into the Reed Wilkins
He'll
show.
be all over
Absolutely.
tomorrow's coverage of the press conference down at Commonwealth Stadium.
You can't wait to hear what Ed Hervey has to say.
We will be live on location at Commonwealth. Belzy's on the hangout with me and Maddie. And then you're coming in. Are you on the hangout too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
baby, this is a loaded hangout.
I was scheduled to be on the hangout.
Good.
Yeah,
I like it when you
good.
guys are on the hangout.
Yeah.
This will be a fun show.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be down on location at Commonwealth. Also, we're live on location for this show, pre and post game, at Hudson's White on Thursday, and then Kelly's Pub on Saturday.
Oh boy.
Don't you even
boy.
laugh.
We're being told, specifically me, but Tommy, to eat some crow. But I guess we will for one game.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
fine. I said I would. I will.
For the other
Yum.
10,
Crow.
they'll eat crow.
There you go.
That's fine. Hey, listen, happy for Vasily. He
Good
was,
for
he
him.
Was, he was
Good.
really good tonight. And
Looking for that first goal, though. I'm terrible. I am so bad.
have we talked about Bouchard's goal? That was fantastic, eh?
That
Very
was
nice
nice.
goal.
Yeah.
Showed little breakaway speed
Yeah.
right up the middle of the ice.
What'd you guys think of his overall game?
Well, better.
Was it Amadio that almost face planted him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
A ways
want-
to go, but good on him. Hell of a goal. Probably one of the goals of the year so
I
far.
thought he was definitely more engaged.
Yes.
I thought he did some really good things. He moved the puck well, but you still see those tendencies in the D zone where it's like, really, man? Just, that like one extra stride you
Yeah.
took going that way, just do it coming back to our
Yeah.
D zone too.
Yeah. And a guy I think who's kind of quietly, guys, getting better and better is Ty Emberson.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Slowly
been playing
building.
a little bit more physical. Like he had
Yeah.
some good hits today, closes on guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been slowly getting better.
Game number 47, 48 for him in the NHL. Takes some time, right?
It's kind of funny though because like you trade CC for him, right? And now
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like you got to thrust him into the fourth position, top 4. Well, clearly that wasn't he wasn't ready for that. He might be
agree.
in a year, 2 years, whatever that looks like, but he's found like a perfect spot for him. And he's really starting to produce. Like when you look at where he is for Kulak and Emberson, it's a nice pairing.
Yeah. And
I
it's
hope it continues to
it's
develop.
good for the. Can you update some people? Everybody's asking where Cass is.
Oh, family stuff tonight.
People
Probably
were
on a
worried
flight to
about him.
Oklahoma.
He's okay. He's had a busy November.
Yes.
Belzy's in for him quite a bit this month. And I think the 30th, it's either Gager or, because you're not available that one, Cass has got something going on. He's got some travel this month as well.
Is he going back to OK?
He might be going to visit family there too.
Okay.
Oh, for American
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, he's going
Yeah.
to Houston then?
Well, I'm assuming.
Well, he's got family in OKC. That's where Cass will be back.
I didn't
Don't
know
worry.
there was Grizzly Bears down in Houston, Texas.
Their name are Matt Cassian.
Matthew Cassian.
Yeah. Ow.
That was a dog.
I just want to.
Do that again.
What's a bear make? What's the sound?
Okay. This is a much more pleasant night than last night on the post-game show. I will not say who had this brilliant line on the Bouchard goal, but it was Bouchard made that defenseman look like Bouchard. Anonymous. Great line. Great line.
Great line. Yes.
Yeah, well done.
Absolute
Well
beauty.
done. All right, the Oilers win at 5-2. We're having some laughs. They played very good tonight, and legitimate concern that they might lay an egg the same way they did in Montreal last night. They load up McDavid and Draisaitl, and put them with Podkolzin. And JC the Glazer, I like this, via the inbox says, "Hey, Tommy, can you read Podkolzin's line for the night for me? I just want to hear you read it. Cheers." No goals, 2 assists, +2.
Oh,
2 shots on net, 16:04 time on ice. I read it, JC. I don't know what you're insinuating, but thank you for the text.
Tommy, you know who Podkolzin's becoming?
Go
and
on.
all we need is the big boss man to jump on board.
What?
He's Jesse Puljujarvi.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Don't do that.
Oh, boy.
What did Puljujarvi do well? Retrieve pucks. Remember when the analytics crew would say he makes Connor McDavid better?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're getting the same
I do
vibes from
remember that.
Podkolzin. I do like Podkolzin's game.
I will
though.
disregard
Yeah.
anybody who ever sends a war chart and statement that suggests that. But
If Dusty jumps full on board on the Podkolzin train, we're in trouble.
he's not finished, so he won't. All right. What are the responses in regard to the question of the night? What did you think of the other lines not featuring and being led by Vasily Podkolzin tonight for the Oilers?
Let me
You
see
didn't catch
here.
that,
Which part?
Led by Vasily Podkolzin.
Oh, I loved it.
Thanks.
Because I was going to say earlier that, you said it was Connor McDavid and on the line was Podkolzin. Maybe those two were joining him on that line.
Yeah, maybe they were.
Yes,
Especially after reading
they
that
got
stat
they
line.
got the bump to the
They got the
Podkolzin
bump
line.
to the Podkolzin line.
It worked. However you want to describe it, it worked tonight. So good for them. All three of them working as a trio really hard, riding the coattails of Vasily Podkolzin.
Yeah.
This one says it's still the dry McDavid show. Need the rest of the team to show up.
Nice.
Mick says Oiler fans are the best. They criticized Bouchard so much last night that he scored a beauty tonight to compensate. Good job, guys. Pat yourself on the back. I mean, he scored a beauty.
He did score a
He
beauty.
did.
We acknowledge it and respect it very much. And then he almost gave away a beauty.
He was still a little shaky at times,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
He almost snapped his ankle.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. Roland, here's one. And I like this one. What did you guys think of Ottawa's $8.25 million goalie? And that would be former or one-time Vezina Trophy winner Linus Ullmark tonight.
Yeah, you're shaky. But I thought that
Which
the Oilers,
goals-
but I thought the Oilers put a lot of pressure on them because they had grade A scoring chances because they were consistently going to the net, which makes any goaltender's job hard.
Okay. Yeah, and good point. I'll put it out to our listeners and viewers too. Like, and I'm not going on and looking at this with a certain slant. I'm just legitimately and honestly saying, if you look at Linus Ullmark's work tonight, that's in 5. Which of those goals would you say I need a save there? Is it Nugent Hopkins' goal when the game's out of reach? Is it the McDavid goal where he snaps it, which was the turning point of the game, the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game, the late one in the first period? Bouchard, nice move, great shot.
Great shot.
The first McDavid one,
Could it be when
Off the toe.
Podkolzin just throws it on net? And like, could he have handled that better? Because it
No,
just
it was a perfect play.
get out.
It was a far.
Come on. I'm trying to be serious
staying out
here.
of it.
It was a far pad rebound. It was actually something that people
Good point.
teach.
No, I
in,
know.
in the game. So, yeah, you could have maybe handled that better, but the angle in which that shot came,
He has no choice but to
he had- yeah,
send
Gotta
it
stop
there.
it. Yeah. And McDavid pounced on that thing like that.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then the fourth one, would you like a save on that one?
That was the Draisaitl
one where
That's
Draisaitl
a nice play.
is one of the leading scorers in
Yeah.
the league goal-wise, and he tucks it between his pads
I'd say maybe the McDavid second one on the power play.
where he snaps it.
Yeah.
Top. But and I'm being sincere. Like,
Because if it was,
Well,
okay, let's just say if
yeah,
it was
sure.
flipped, everybody be saying you need a save.
what if that was Stu Skinner that let those 5 in tonight? Which ones are we?
But McDavid's using his own defenseman as a screen.
Yeah.
And where he shoots that puck, like he shot it through kind of like the body and
Yeah.
the arm area. And so, that's a tough save to make. And you're obviously you're still thinking about Draisaitl backdoor. So are you leaning in a different way because you're trying to see around your defenseman? Are you leaning just that little extra bit to maybe cheat for that cross ice pass to Draisaitl? So I mean, there's a few factors there, but we'll give that one.
I like this one. The Oilers 2.6 outplayed their 8.5 tonight.
Yep. Yeah, Stu Skinner had a solid night.
Good bounce back, yeah.
Good bounce back. Made some big saves, kept them in it. There was a partial breakaway. I think Nick Jensen, or was it Batherson had one. There was a couple of really good saves that Stu Skinner made that allowed the Oilers to have some breathing room and then build on their lead. So I thought he had a good night, even though the Sens had a few good looks, nowhere near as many as Edmonton, absolutely. I saw one from Jesse Willis via the Nasty Chat, said, the Oilers finally threw pucks on net, made their goalie feel a little uncomfortable. Good to see.
Yeah, that's exactly, the formula. You have to be able to do that because goaltenders in the NHL, for the most part, if they can see a shot, they're saving it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get traffic in front. And once again, these are all cliche things, but they're real things.
Mm-hmm.
Make the goaltenders move east-west. Draisaitl goal for sure. You've got the Podkolzin shot pass or shot, whatever you want to call it, right? That he had to move to make that save. And luckily McDavid was there. The Bouchard goal was a great play and just an unbelievable shot.
Thomas Chabot did not play that well.
Chabot didn't do anything there.
Good on
So
Bouchard, though.
yeah, the goals that the Oilers scored were really good goals.
Mm-hmm.
And the ways that they came, they're hard for goaltenders to make those saves. Screens in front, quick tips and deflections, rebounds. It's all stuff it's hard for goaltenders.
Overall, a very satisfying victory for the Edmonton Oilers. 5-2 over the Ottawa Senators. They wrap up this 3-game Eastern Canadian road trip with a 1-1-1 record. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get into the Nasty Chat. Like, share, subscribe on our YouTube channel. We appreciate you. Thanks for listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Apple Music, and EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player. Tom Gazzola, Hernan, Salas, Shawn, Belle with you on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Guys, a thing that is concerning is Zach Hyman did not finish the game, took a hit from Nick Jensen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I haven't been all over Twitter or anything like that. I haven't seen any updates if Chris Knobloch has spoken yet. We're still waiting for Victor Arvidsson to make his return to action. It was supposed to be a short-term thing. This is 4 games now. The Oilers now go and claim Kasperi Kapanen. I was told a lot of it has to do with you get a healthy body in there, and that there are injuries within the entire organization that they need some healthy bodies, and they need an NHL player, and they went and got one. So to what level and what effect he has these days in the NHL, not as impactful as maybe 5 years ago, but.
And he will. It's been confirmed. I think I saw it. He will wear number 42.
Sweet,
cool.
If you're into that kind of stuff.
Cool
yeah,
number.
sometimes.
Has there been a guy that's worn 42
in Edmonton? I think so.
Yeah, Ryan O'Mara.
Yeah, that's your old teammate.
Oh, good old Omar.
He lives in London now. Good dude.
Great dude.
Great dude. All right, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Bellsy, anything that you're seeing?
I'm actually just trying to scroll through Twitter to see if there's any update on the Hyman injury, but nothing that I see so far.
Nope, nothing so far.
Okay.
And I'm just working on some audio. It's just been released, so I will have Connor McDavid shortly here.
All right, let's go into the text line now. Atif wants to know who had the most ice time for the Oilers tonight. Stu Skinner. Oh, boy, Atif, get out of here.
It was actually Brett Kulak.
Brett Kulak?
For defenseman.
Oh,
Connor
but
McDavid.
he's being literal, like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Atif, that joke that you sent into the text line was almost as good as that banger of a song you sang this morning. Awful. RBM texting in. It's Wheels. He won an SD. Come on. He won an SD for crying out loud. RBM texting in says, nice to see that shut the hell up after last night's unacceptable third period, especially Bouchard. Good for him. Thumbs up. Also, nice to see an easy-ish night for once where they really weren't pressed much more, please. Troll says, Russia is as close to Finland as you get, so you never know, TG. And did you guys talk about that BS call on the high stick? I knew for sure that would count, just like that bad call in the Flames game earlier this year. Yeah, that's a reference back to the Anthony Mantha one. I don't know how, it was, to me, it was pretty obvious that was a high stick. Shoulder, crossbar, whatever we're using, that was up there.
I thought it was definitely a high stick.
And
but, I mean, if we're going to talk about, bad calls, yeah, I would say it's one-on-one. Because that Giroux call, woof.
Yeah. Now, there's a technicality there. I know they've tweaked it in recent years. It's the hand making contact off a face-off. Like, that's a penalty now. But I don't know if it's a hand pass or if you just play it with your hand.
But if you play it to yourself...
That's where I'm not sure.
And it actually didn't even really look like he pulled it back that much. It almost
I think
looked
he
like
did
it was,
hit it to himself.
He's
a
probably
clever
did. But it
player.
didn't look like when you watch that video that he actually... It was on purpose, I guess, is what I'm saying. But it probably was. It was accidentally on purpose.
If it was accidentally on purpose, if it was on purpose, if it was totally by accident.
But I would still say that it's one-on-one in terms of...
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that rule in particular. I think they wanted to get away from players winning face-offs by swiping it with their hands.
Yeah.
You got to do it with the stick.
I can understand that for sure.
And they went incredibly severe on that one, and that was an example.
But that was a turning point.
Right.
Because if you don't have that call...
2 seconds into a power play.
100%.
They get the 5-on-3.
David scores. 3-1.
That was the turning point of the game.
Yep.
Good point. Mike in Thunder Bay. Hello, Mike in Thunder Bay. Probably enjoyed that one. Wasn't as late for him. Why can't this team show up every night? At night, the Nuge scores. Any night the Nuge scores is a good night in my books. And I like this from Dolphin Nation. It seems like Hernan 2.0 has come back with an edge. I love it. Dolphin Nation.
It's not an edge. It's just whatever. Like I'm excited for Podkolzin. I still think he's gonna net 20. I think Bellsy got me over to his side a bit here, so we'll see. No, but all in all, good game for him. And I know it's all in fun and all that. But I think Tom and I and many here at the station have a reasonable take on Podkolzin, and so does Bellsy.
I do have a reasonable take on that.
But
and it's very simple.
Yes.
And I agree with you guys. He is a fourth liner. I agree with you guys.
Thank you.
But the reality is, right now, based on how they were playing,
he's their best option.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why. When you brought it up in the pregame and you presented it like that, it made sense. It's like, yeah, who else has earned it?
Yes. But I got fired up before actually answering that question.
Yeah, you got a little bit fiery.
I did. It was fun. It was a very fun pregame. Okay, here's a good one and a serious one. It comes from Ryan out of Saskatchewan. He texts in the inbox 780-218-9999. Says the PK is coming around. Emberson has been a nice fit with Ekholm on that first unit. I didn't think the RNH line was good at all. Henrique, Brown, and Janmark were good. The penalty kill coming around. That is another night where they get it done. Tonight, the PK went, 3 for 3? Oh, 2 for 2. So it goes 2 for 2, and I'm stacking it up with the previous few games where now all of a sudden they're shutting the opposition down. So the Oilers in the last few games on the penalty kill have gone 2 for 2, 2 for 2 last night, 4 for 4 in Toronto, 2 for 2 against Nashville, 2 for 2 against the Islanders. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 5 games in a row. They have not given up a goal on the PK. The last one coming against Vancouver in a win. And then obviously, the 15 games prior, it was almost every night they were leaking at least one. So what are you noticing about that PK?
I've thought they've done a better job of taking away the seam pass.
Okay.
That weak side forward or the middle forward is doing a really good job of making sure he's sharing his responsibility essentially between the bumper on that 1-3-1 and the guy that's on the flank. And so he's got a tough job because if the bumper is a little bit lower than the flank, you've got to be in a position where you can take away that seam pass while also trying to take away the bumper. And so I think a lot of the times when they were getting lit up, they're just trying to focus on that bumper, which left that seam pass open,
right.
And all of a sudden teams would attack on that. So you could see, a really good effort by Derek Ryan in particular, because he constantly had his head on a swivel. He was moving his stick. He had active sticks, and they did a good job of keeping Ottawa to the outside, which stops those passes through the seam, and those seam passes are deadly. That's what all the top teams and top power play units are doing is they're looking for that seam pass for a one-timer because they're hard to stop.
And the way they're closing off those on the turns.
And they're pushing over the top, right? So, a guy gets a puck on the dot lane or the outside. The other forwards are now doing a good job of pushing down.
The timing is better too, right?
Timing's better. It's a little bit more of a concerted effort as opposed to, kind of going slow with it. Like they're doing a good job pushing down, making teams move the puck quickly.
Thank you. See, I knew you'd know. X's and O's with Belzy. Fantastic. Let's go to Andrea. Andrea just sends a picture. Great way to watch the last period. In the hot tub where they put up their new TV.
Yeah.
Well done, Jay and Andrea. Nicely done. Looks very cozy on a cold November night in Edmonton. Jordan says, do you think Thursday is set to be a scheduled loss? First game home from an Eastern trip. Belzy, we've seen the Oilers, we've seen teams in general when they go on road trips, especially extended ones, the ones that last more than a week usually. This one didn't. It was 3 games and 4 nights. Why do you think that is when they come back home? In general, that first game is always tough, and then it leads to questions like, could it be one of those quote-unquote scheduled losses?
Yeah, I think when you get on the road, it's a different way of doing things, and when you come home, there's more distractions. With wife, kids, your fans are all around. You got buddies there. I think it's just a different mentality and a way of doing things. And there's nothing. It's not me trying to chirp the home games and the fans at home. It's just you get on the road and it's very, very simple.
Yeah, regimented.
You get up, you eat breakfast, you go to the rink, you go back and sleep, then you just focus on the game the whole time. And when you get into that mindset and then all of a sudden you come home and there's now different variables being thrown at you, sometimes it plays tricks on you.
And Minnesota has their number, Tom.
And Minnesota's having a good season, too.
Yeah, they're up 3-2 in the third over St. Louis right now, so they'll travel into Edmonton. They have 2 wins in their last 12 games against Minnesota.
Edmonton does, yeah.
Who sent that in? Sorry, Tom?
That was from Jordan.
So you might be onto something. Coming off a road trip against a team you struggle mightily against. First, who do the Oilers have? Which team do they just dominate? Is it Nashville?
Nashville's one of them.
Yeah.
Ottawa's another. That's
Ottawa.
their 14th win in the
at home.
last 6.
Islanders at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
17, yeah.
So for Minnesota, it's the Oilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that win, speaking of the Oilers' dominance over the Ottawa Senators, Edmonton is now 13-2-1 in the last 16 games against the Sens. Own them.
yeah.
Absolutely own them.
The Oilers actually, so speaking of that game coming up on Thursday, the Oilers have a 37-52-4-10 record against the Wild all time.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
I remember Tom Rennie was asked,
Terrific.
yes, your old coach, about the struggles against Minnesota when it was the Northwest Division and the Oilers and Minnie would play each other 6 times a year. I think there was a point when they switched over to the rivalry-focused schedules that teams in the same division played each other 8 times a year, but they reduced it to 6. And I remember the Oilers had played Minnie 6 times in the first 36 games of the season one year. And they also played them 2 or 3 times in the preseason. And it felt like we had spent the first month of the year going back and forth between Minnesota or St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Edmonton. And the Oilers basically played the Wild every third night. It was so ridiculous.
I could see that.
Well, those are 2 of your old teams.
Those are 2 of my old teams.
Guys, with games coming up Thursday and Saturday, are you running Skinner in both? Because it's 2 tough matchups, Minnesota Wild and then the New York Rangers.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have the appropriate amount of rest.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, get them in the lineup.
And after that Saturday game, they have like 5 straight days off.
Exactly. So,
And it's not a bye week. It's just the schedule.
I guess if there's a stinker on Thursday, you might
Good point.
think about, but Skinner's your number 1, guys. You got to get him going here.
Yeah.
So
I thought he had a good game.
He had a great game today.
Yeah.
He was very calm. Like his movements were very, calculated. They're fluid. Like he didn't seem like he was scrambling out of position.
No, 27 saves on 29 shots. Some big ones, timely ones that fans had been asking for, and I think tonight he provided those. against an Ottawa team that can burn you if you let your guard down. So Stu Skinner, I think, did play well, and I don't see why you wouldn't go to him in these next 2 games. And then you get that 5-day break between games, and then wrap up the month of November. I think it's 29th and 30th. Yes, Utah and Colorado. We're on location, Hudson's Bourbon Street on the 29th, and then back at BP Westgate, where Tony was telling me at BP Westgate tonight, they've got some good prizes coming in. For that one.
They got wicked prize. Last really Saturday was pretty cool what they were giving away.
Oiler jersey,
the golf club.
We gave away putter.
Really?
Yeah.
A little putter. Was it a cooler or like a little mini?
No, it was a big cooler.
With
a speaker on it. Man,
That's cool.
the prizes they've been giving away at BP, awesome. They have
Might have to come back for one of those.
Yeah, you should. The Coors Light golf simulator that they've got. The putter was brought to you by Molson. Great time there. And then looking forward to get back to Hudson. It's always a good time at Hudson's.
Absolutely.
And then Kelly's on Saturday, which is look out. All right.
This Saturday?
This Saturday. Yeah, I know. Okay. Stop.
That's some foreshadowing right
Just
there.
stop. We got work to do on Saturday. Where are we going inside the locker room? Please tell me we have this ready.
We can go to Connor McDavid or Stuart Skinner.
Your call. You guys call.
Belsey?
I'd like to see McDiesel.
All right. Here's Connor McDavid following his team's 5-2 win in the nation's capital.
How the scoring started tonight with Evan Bouchard's goal.
Beautiful goal. Bouch's a great player. So patient with it. Never in a rush. You could see both those things on that goal, and beautiful move and a beautiful finish.
You scored just 35 seconds after Ottawa scored their first goal. You really didn't allow them to get into the game. How can you say about the way that this team kind of maintained that pressure throughout?
I thought we responded well. We always talked about a shift after a goal, and obviously you want to grab momentum right away, and found a way to score, which is always a bonus. So, I thought it was a big time in the game, and we were able to hold on to it.
What did you think about Stuart Skinner tonight?
I thought he was solid. Made a lot of really good saves. Made the timely saves, which is I think half the battle, maybe more than half the battle when it comes to goaltending, is just making the right save at the right time, and I thought he did that all night.
Sorry, go ahead, Paige. You talk about the response after that goal, but how about the response after the last 2 games on the road, Connor? What did you like about your team game here tonight?
I thought it was a resilient effort. Not easy. A lot of travel, back-to-back. They were rested. I thought we were a little bit behind the 8 ball, but just found a way to get it done tonight. That's all it was all about, and I thought it was a great sign from our group.
What did you think of Vasily Podkolzin on your line tonight?
He was great. Honestly, the numbers aren't showing. I know he hasn't scored, and lots been made of that, but he works so hard, keeps so many pucks alive, makes so many great little subtle plays that the media doesn't love to write about, but are so important to being a good line mate, and I thought he played great.
Okay.
Whoa. Some fuego. El Capitan.
Joke's on you. I don't know how to read and write. I don't think that was directed towards.
No, of course.
But,
Connor loves us. He listens to us. He's probably got his earbuds on listening to us.
I gave him
right
some
now.
decals and a couple lanyards that he requested.
Put him, thanks, Tom, right in the garbage.
Or he gave them to Podkolzin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like he gave him a couple of points tonight. Hey-o.
Took some shots there. I think we can all
whatever. Who
figure it
cares?
out,
It's
but
funny.
yeah, it's all good.
Good stuff there from the captain. A couple of points, a couple of goals from him as well. Connor McDavid, 3 points. He had the nice assist on the Draisaitl goal as the Oilers win it 5-2 over the Ottawa Senators. Anything you want to take away from a chipper Connor McDavid?
Not really.
Not really.
Just, he praised Skinner and Bouchard's goal, which Skinner was good tonight. Bouchard's goal was outstanding, and it was a good bounce back game. I mean, last night was a dud, guys, and we said it in the pregame show. I didn't think they would show up the same way, and they didn't. They were the better team through the 60 minutes, so it's good to see. And they're going to need 60-minute efforts coming up on Thursday and Saturday because those two teams are very, very good.
Yes, they are. All right, let's go back down to Canadian Tire Center. Who's up next here?
Let's go with the winning goaltender. Everyone's favorite, Stuart Skinner.
To end this road trip with this win.
Yeah, it was massive. obviously, if we didn't, it would have been a pretty ugly road trip. Especially playing all the Canada teams, you obviously want to show up for those. And I think being able to get off a good start in the first period was a big help, especially going into a back-to-back, and just being able to keep that lead was, I think, really key to just win the game.
You mentioned maintaining that lead. When Ottawa scored their first goal, it was only 35 seconds once Connor scored and didn't allow them to really get back in. What can you say about the way that this team played that way?
Yeah, I mean, Cal actually said that in the room the other day about how important the shifts are after goals. And obviously it's a 1-1 game, and then we get one right back right when they're announcing Stützle's goal. So that kind of kills their momentum and really helps us, kind of see that we're back up a goal, and let's make sure that we clean up our mistakes.
Early on in the game, we saw Evan Bouchard with a tremendous goal. What was your vantage point on it, and what did you think? What crossed your mind with that goal?
That was really nice. Super lucky. But Bouch gets lucky like a lot of the time. So, no, he made a really nice move. Obviously, that's where his game is. That's when he's at his best, is when he's super patient, and just being able to kind of walk around him in the way that he did was just super smooth, and then being able to finish on Olmark, obviously a great goalie. So a lot of props to Bouch. He's been playing fantastic.
How about you, Stu? Bouncing back from that game on Saturday, just maybe take us through the headspace from Saturday night leading up to your start today.
Yeah, I looked back on some stuff and just trying to make progress every single day, every single game. Thought I was able to do that today, and just understand that you got to make the right decisions at the right time. And I think tonight was a good stepping stone in the right direction.
Was Stu Skinner picking up the win tonight. His 6th of the season, 27 saves in the effort, a couple of really important ones. And, the Oilers cleaned things up defensively a little bit. But he had some fun teasing Evan Bouchard's goal there. But a good night all around for the Oilers as they win at 5-2 over the Ottawa Senators. Vasily Podkolzin snapping a 7-game pointless streak with 2 assists tonight.
He's back, baby.
He is back. Also, good to see them overcome the lengthy travel bouncing between Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa.
Just an hour trip.
I think the travel from Ottawa to Montreal and vice versa is half an hour via plane. But good that they overcame it. You dared me. I was going to go. You brought it up.
Yeah.
They did it.
They did overcome.
Yes. And achieved.
Yeah.
780-218-9999. Let's go to this one. Tommy, have you heard what the deal is with the Arvidsson injury since he was supposed to play at the start of the road trip? No, I haven't. That's the thing that's kind of tricky when you're not around the team and they take off on the road. The only thing I can think of is I saw him wincing a couple of times last week after getting stood up on hits, and I could see him like hunch over a little bit. So to me, it would be suspected upper body. That's the eye test. He came back and he played, and I thought he would be fine, but clearly something's rattled him to the point where he's missed the last 3, 4.
And especially with not knowing what's going to happen with Zach Hyman, and if you have Hyman and Arvidsson out, that's a tough stretch for the Oilers here. And like you said, you were told Kasperi Kapanen picked up because they're dealing with a lot of injuries. And
yes,
I think Arvidsson thought he would be good for Toronto,
yeah.
and then he just never could go, and he's probably not. At this point, guys, if he's not 100%, they're probably going to sit him the rest of the week and give him that 5-day.
They could.
Right?
That's what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, are they just being ultra cautious with him?
Well, they picked up a guy today, like Hernan was talking about. So,
yeah. Like maybe they're just feeling okay. Like, he isn't getting the better. He isn't progressing the way that we want him to.
Yeah.
Let's just rest him, sit him out a little bit longer, and then maybe at the end of the week he comes back. But.
Oh, Matt Hyman, noted WS tier and ES tier out of Winnipeg, says, I know it's Oilers talk. I just wanted to let Tommy and the gang know the Jets announced a sellout today. 15,000 strong.
Great job, Winnipeg.
That is good. It is good.
That is very good.
That is good.
And they doubled up the Florida Panthers.
They are a good team. That's an important game, too, by the way. That's an important game. Good bounce back for the Jets.
Yeah, after taking a beating.
Two big dogs
Yeah.
like that, and the Jets get.
Tommy, do you want a quick out-of-town scoreboard?
Yeah, I do. Please.
All right. Like I mentioned, Jets double up the Panthers 6-3. It was Braden Point's return game, and he scores the OT winner to get by the Pens. The Lightning get by the Pens 3-2. Currently in the first period, 5 minutes ago, Rangers lead the Canucks 2-1. Also in the third period, Anaheim leads Chicago 3-2. After 40 minutes from Calgary, it's the Isles leading the Flames 1-0. And this one's just final. Oilers' next opponent double up the St. Louis Blues by a score of 4-2.
All right. Good update. I appreciate that very much. Hernan Salas, 780-218-9999. Text us. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Tom Gazzola, Shawn, Belle, Hernan Salas with you. And get into the nasty chat as well. Time now to get to, you want to do the player of the game?
Sure.
All right, Damon Bunting. I feel like I know where this one's going. The Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game from Damon Bunting, who's a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current one. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Hernan, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Skinner, 931 save percentage on the night. Evan Bouchard, Connor McDavid, both had 3 points on the night. Both were +3. But
Don't do it.
for the fans,
Don't do it.
for Shawn Bell, player of the game, Vasily Podkolzin, 2 assists, +2, 16 minutes of ice time. He also had 1 shot, 1 block, and a little bit of the rough stuff. So,
Yep.
Vasily Podkolzin, for the first time this season, gets the Damon Bunting player of the game. Honorable mention to Connor McDavid, Evan Bouchard, and Stuart Skinner.
And Podkolzin does it all the while snapping a 7-game pointless streak.
Let's just give it to him. Everybody's feeling good.
I like it.
Connor's not
Hernan,
happy
I'm
that
so proud of you.
Connor's not happy that people don't write or talk about Podkolzin's puck retrieval. So let's just give it to him tonight.
I am so proud of where you've come.
How far I've come
Yeah.
since the pregame
it's
show.
amazing.
Look at the influence you've had on him.
I am so proud of him right now.
And, yeah, I just won the nasty chat over too. They're all happy.
They love it. They absolutely love it.
I
Oh,
might crack a beer on this moment. This is big.
we've got
It's
some.
big, yeah.
This is a big moment.
We've got some. All right, we have a few minutes left. Any texts you want to send our way, fire those to 780-218-9999. Edmonton getting the 5-2 win. All right, they're 20. I'll bring this up. They're 20 games into the season. They have hit the 10-win mark, 10-8-2. Not where I think it's safe to say anybody expected them to be, just above 500. I thought, we'd be talking about a team leading the Pacific Division at this point, but as of tonight, with that win, they are right back in the mix with LA and 1 point or 2 points back of Vegas. So 1 point behind LA, 2 points back of Vegas. They've played 2 more games than the Golden Knights and 1 more than the Kings at 20 games now. But how would you grade it? A, B, C, D, E, F, or A, B, C, D, E. No E, F.
I'm going to grade them a C plus.
C plus.
And the only reason I say that is because coming into the season, I thought this team was going to be able to score.
Yeah.
And score in bunches. And we all knew that the defense might need a little bit of help, and they're going to plan on trading for a guy down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that the offense was going to be the thing that stymied them the most.
Fair.
So for me, I'm going to give them a C plus based on the fact that I don't think they didn't come as advertised, I guess, when it comes to the offensive side of the game.
Yeah, I don't think I can go higher either. It's somewhere in the C's there, C plus, C minus. Not where this team should be.
No.
I mean, if you look at the record, you're probably you're looking at Boston. They fired their coach and they're 1 game under 500. You're looking at the Oilers. What's their record again, Tom?
10-8-2.
10-8-2, so 2 games over 500. But I think if you've watched all the Oiler games and seen all the parts that they struggled with, I can't give them more than a C right now for 20 games.
I'll give them a C. C plus. That was a good drink.
Great
good
drink.
Juice. Yeah.
Yep. Full of sugar.
Yeah.
Rot your teeth.
That's why we
But
loved
delicious.
it. Delicious, not nutritious. Edmonton with the 5 goals tonight has moved up in its goals for per game. with a 2.75 rate, and their goals against has fallen slightly to 3.1. So that's improving as well. I think those are good indicators. I've said it so many times, like I can recognize when you're not getting a save from your goalie. I can recognize when your defense passes the puck like crap out of the zone and doesn't give the forwards a chance to wheel and deal, and you look slow. I fully acknowledge that, but when ultimately you can't score more than 2 goals in a game on average, and you're giving up 3, sometimes 4, you're not winning.
You're not winning any games.
This past week in a little bit, they've started to score more than 2 goals consistently. They've started to score more than 3 goals consistently. That's a good sign to me. So I feel like in the last 10-game segment, we're starting to get signs that the game is still there.
Yeah.
Now, how do they get to play it more consistently against all levels of opponent? Good ones, bad ones, in between ones.
Well, let's see what they do here Thursday, because I think that's going to be a true test of what they're willing to do, because you got a team that's solid all around. They've got Krill.
Oh.
He's a game breaker, awesome player. They've got depth. They're solid in goal. You've got a really good hockey team, and if you can, bring this game, but maybe add a few more layers to it, and you beat them, now you've strung 2 really good games together. Is that enough to get the momentum going so that you can now put yourself in a position to, maybe go on a bit of a run?
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Kirill, the thrill, 2 goals again tonight. I think he's up to 13, so he's right there. And a team that's, has the Oilers' numbers. So are you guys okay with 1-1 for these next 2 games, to be realistic? I mean,
It depends how they play.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could go 0-2, but if they play excellent, we're going to tear it apart, because that's what happens on this show.
That's what we do.
But you could be like,
Well,
I know they didn't get the result, but damn, they played good, and damn, that team came in there and played hot. But 1-1, I guess, would be acceptable.
Well, I don't think you guys would pick it apart, because if they play well, like there's, reasonable takes to what you guys are doing. But I think when they get picked apart is when they're super nonchalant, and I think that's where the frustration happens, with the media and the fans and all that stuff. But if they come out and they're playing their true game, well then, is it 1 bounce here and 1 bounce there? Like, that's why I think it's totally dependent on how they play. If they come out and they play lights out and they still lose, it's tough to be upset about that stuff. Because you want to see them play the game that they can play.
They're capable of.
They're capable of. So, a loss sucks. But right now, the Oilers are trying to string multiple good games together so that they can get on a run. Not, hey, 1 good game here, then a crap game there, and then maybe a marginal game. Like, you want to see them string together really good games.
Right.
4, 5, 6, 7 in a row, and then see what happens from there.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, the result's always what you want, but I'm more intrigued to see how they can match up. And again, we'll get an update. Hopefully, we probably won't get an update tomorrow, Tom. We'll probably have to wait till Thursday for Zach Hyman and Arvidsson and I was going to say Vasily, but no, Kasperi Kapanen, right?
Right.
Is he ready to go Thursday, or do we have to wait till Saturday to see his debut with the Edmonton Oilers?
That was brought up, the stuff with the visa.
Yeah.
That's an issue too. So we'll see if they have them ready to go. Hopefully, you would think that they do, and they need some healthy bodies in the lineup. But the guys who were available tonight did a good job and got the win. Justin texts in. Justin says, Tony. I like how people call me that. Thank you, UFC. Tony, who's going to give Brown his flowers? Well, I will. I love a guy who throws calm hands like that. Keep him around. Expletive, love the hard hockey. Thank you, Justin.
I thought it was impressive.
Pulling a Nielsen, dropping the F-bomb.
Yeah, it was a good little scrap. I mean, he can hold his own, definitely.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so not worried there.
Troll plays by his own rules. Says 10 wins in 20 games is 500. I don't count the fake Bettman. 500.
Okay.
That's fine. I understand. Okay, quick look ahead. What do we need to know for Thursday against the Wild? A Wild team that's playing really well. Doubled up on St. Louis tonight. Kaprizov, 13 goals.
Be ready to go. Have that engagement, because if you don't have it, that's a team that will run right through you.
Yeah, they've got some big boys.
If you're the Oilers, you've gone through 20 games. You want to make sure, like we've all mentioned in the show today, that you string a bunch of good games together, right? Because if you get into that 30 game mark, that 40 game mark, and you're still sitting back and you're like, well, I'm not sure we've played our best and we're still rating you a C+, well, that's when things start to get a little bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you don't know how much room you have. Are you falling behind? Are you still a 500 team? Like, what can you do? So, like, this next 20 games can tell you a lot, and you can put yourself in a really good position, for the tail end of the season, going into trade deadline.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun next 2 games. Back at home. Tommy's on location.
I am on location.
Good times.
Hudson's White Avenue on Thursday, and then Kelly's Pub for the downtown Winterval. It's a winter festival downtown on Saturday. Looking forward to that. Bellsy, will you be wearing your Oilers 45 jersey over top of your Wild number 4 jersey?
I will not.
Okay, just wondering.
Not be wearing any of those jerseys.
Yes, okay.
I probably will wear a black on black ensemble.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
He's a man in black.
So some people in the nasty, we're talking about nickname. It was Bellsy, but some of them are calling you now Boom Boom.
I know, that's Rip City.
Why are you Boom Boom?
Makes no sense. Mixing a water, Rip City.
Or don't. Whatever. Have a China White.
Oh, man.
Okay. Well, hey, we had a lot of fun. I mean, 3 very different games on this Eastern Canadian road trip. 3 different results, certainly. Let's see what happens the rest of the week. This team, it had a 3-game winning streak going into the trip, pissed away a point on Saturday, and then a couple more yesterday, and then today they totally redeemed themselves with the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game, Vasily Podkolzin, leading the offensive charge. McDavid and Draisaitl riding his coattails in a 5-2 victory. Podkolzin 2 assists. Look out, everybody. Totally facetious. Great show. Lots of fun. Thank you for being here with us all day long on EST. Another great day of programming today, and we're going to have another one. We're going to be live on location for the Hangout and then the Ed Hervey introductory press conference. Join us, won't you? Myself, Bellsy, and Hernan will be with Matt Owanik at 9 a.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to having everybody along for the ride. For the boys, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thanks as always. Have yourselves a great night. Hit that thumbs up button.